Hello, my name is Diego Olivas, and today I will present you an introduction to nuclear energy, how it works, and why you shouldn't fear it. First, here are the topics that we'll cover. What is nuclear energy? How do we use it? The benefits of using this type of energy, the disadvantages, the doubts and controversy that come with it, and finally we'll be answering the question, should you be scared of nuclear energy? First, what is nuclear energy? It is the energy liberated by the interaction between the nuclei of two or more atoms. There are two types of interactions that liberate energy. First is nuclear fusion. It is the interaction and the collision between two or more small atoms that result in a bigger nucleus being formed and a liberation of energy. Second is nuclear fission. That is, a large atom is impacted by a small amount of force and thus breaks apart into two or more fission products, some residual particles, and a lot of energy. How do we take advantage of these properties? So, a nuclear power plant is a facility that harvests the power of nuclear fission. So here are the 5 steps in a nuclear power plant. First, enriched uranium, which is a radioactive material that can break easily, is placed in water. Second, nuclear fission takes place within the uranium and releases a lot of energy. Third, this energy goes into the water and evaporates it. This steam flows through pipes. 4, the steam reaches a turbine and makes it spin, thus generating electricity. And 5, the water is cooled down and reintroduced into the system so it can be used again in step 2. So, here are the benefits of nuclear energy over other methods. First, they have very low emission of greenhouse gases, contrary to natural gas, carbon, or coal, or petroleum. Nuclear energy produces a very small amount of carbon dioxide, methane, and many other greenhouse gases that invade the atmosphere. Second, nuclear energy is much more energy dense than fossil fuels, and even many renewable sources. That means that for the same amount of mass or material, nuclear energy produces much more energy than any other methods. Nuclear power plants are a reliable source of large amounts of energy at any time. The fact that nuclear power plants can run non-stop at full capacity for over 2 years means that at any time, at any place, these nuclear power plants can deliver a steady amount of energy into whatever is needed. And finally, on the long run, nuclear power plants are extremely cost effective. This means that it takes not a lot of resources to continue feeding the plant and continue producing energy. However, all comes with disadvantages, and here are the disadvantages of nuclear energy. First is the radioactive waste and byproducts released by the plants and made by the reactions. It is no secret that power plants use radioactive materials, and when they are done with them, they need to be disposed. Second, accidents can happen and have happened, leading to death and pollution. 3 main events are the Long Island event, Fukushima, and Chernobyl. And third, this infrastructure requires access to high technology and a lot of resources. Yes, it is very cost effective to continue maintaining and supplying materials to create energy once the plant is built. However, the building of the plant itself requires a lot of upfront investment that many countries and many companies do not have. However, all of these disadvantages have a counterargument. Regarding radioactive waste and their byproducts, it has been in place since the creation of nuclear power plants that these wastes must be safely disposed of. And with a little more investment and development, the radioactive waste can even be reusable and recycled in molten sodium reactors to get even more energy out of them. And yes, accidents can happen and have happened, leading to death and pollution. However, the three main accidents, Chernobyl, Fukushima, and Long Island, were easily preventable, and now that we have the technology and more so the experience of knowing what went wrong, these can be, as I said, easily preventable. And even with these three outliers, it has been proven that nuclear energy, amongst every other type of energy source, is one of the safest and one of the most reliable in terms of deaths and pollution. And finally, although infrastructure requires access to high technology and investment, this is most likely attributed to the fact that nuclear energy has had a bad stigma attached to it during all of its development. And accepting nuclear energy as a feasible and safe power energy source will mean that development and research will make nuclear energy much more available to any other investors. So, should you be scared of nuclear energy? No, you shouldn't. Nuclear energy has been proven to be one of the safest, most reliable, most efficient, and even least polluting and cheapest energy sources in actuality. And yes, uranium, the power source for nuclear power plants, is not renewable. However, in the long and medium term, there is more than enough uranium in the planet until renewable energies have had enough development to fully take over the energy production of all the planet. These are my references and sources.